because he's the acceptable monster at this time. Like R. Kelly was the last time I sat on this couch. Jay-Z is setting it up.
People even calling me, asking me about him. You know, and I don't know him from a can of paint. He even mentioned my name, saying that I know. I know what I know. I don't know what he knows. But I do know this.
Let me break it down. Something wild just went down. Picture this: Jay-Z, the icon of composure and control, completely losing it. No headline could have braced us for what just happened. The man known for his cool, collected presence, unfiltered, raw, and visibly shaken. Imagine Superman stripped of his cape, thrown into the eye of a storm. No one saw it coming. The city's in shock, the buzz is electric. But here's the real question: what pushed him over the edge? What's really going on behind those designer shades? One thing's for sure: this runs deeper than anyone expected.
It seems to make a lot of people upset, you know, then a lot of people love my opinion. That's why you bring me on here. And I really appreciate that, brother. I just want to say this before we get started, Art, is that, you know, a lot of people think I came here to bring a black man down. And that's what I hear in the comments a whole lot. But it was nothing like that. You know, a black man didn't cuss a dead man's mother out. A black man didn't set his friends up and put them in a situation where they couldn't come home to their families no more. A black man didn't reach back and help the people that helped them make it up the ladder. It was Puffy. You understand? I got tired of Puffy going on different platforms talking about how he loved the people that we was all with, how he loved the people that helped him, when in fact, none of that stuff was true. So my whole thing about it is, man, I appreciate your platform for letting me, you know, voice my opinion. And like I said, opinions like an asshole. Some of these cats out here get paid for their asshole. I get paid to give my opinion.
Yeah, I feel you, man. I mean, yeah, you just on here giving your opinion, man. I mean, you was one of the people that was real close to the situation, so why not?
Thank you, I appreciate that.
So with that being said, right, the last interview me and you did was a day after the rain. And when you look at everything now, man, how you feel about everything? It's been like a week, you know, you knowing Diddy, you being around Diddy. Could you ever imagine that his houses would get raided for sex trafficking?
Bro, you can't imagine no stuff like that. You understand? You can't think that, because back then, he wasn't Brother Love. He was Puffy. All the way up until he became Diddy. So his behavior over the years.
Let's keep the momentum going, because what's happening with Jay-Z isn't just about a bad day. Word is, this runs way deeper. Growing up in the Marcy projects, the struggle was real, and no amount of platinum records can fully silence that kind of past. That pressure sticks. Now add the non-stop grind to stay on top of a cutthroat industry, and you've got a dangerous cocktail of mental strain. Whispers have been circling for years, cracks in the foundation, from his marriage to the crushing weight of his legacy. And let's not forget that infamous elevator moment with Solange. That was just the tip of the iceberg. Underneath the cool exterior, there's a storm building, and it might finally be breaking through. Asterisk.
Think about Claudia Jordan right now. Claudia Jordan don't ever mention my mother name. She mentioned it yesterday. Talking about why people are afraid to come forward. You mean like you? You was Diddy girl. Tori was Jay-Z girl. Why don't you claim your friend? Claudia.
So Jack, when you say...
When I say Corey, I'm talking about Cassie White.
Oh yeah, that's what I was about to ask.
Jay-Z's
Jay-Z's-
pregnant mistress,
Yeah.
who died of an imaginary fucking aneurysm. Just like the woman who was best friends with Kim and Kimura, who wrote the book Bling and died as soon as it made the bestsellers list. What are these people supposed to go to? You can't go to the boss because the boss is fucking you. And the boss's boss don't give a fuck. Can't go to the authorities. They're all bought and paid for. You can try to get a special prosecutor. They'll just pay somebody to reassign him to another case. Where the you go when you get over by the industry? Nowhere. That's where you go nowhere. Which is where people like me step in. I go to Diddy parties. So you never, because nobody's stopping me when I come.
So let me ask you, because I look at Gabriel Union, and when you mention things like Jay-Z's time is coming for him, then I look at Beyonce, and I say that women do have a
That country album, and any of you that buy that shit, finish music with God's poster and a.
Now let's talk Queen Bey. Being married to music royalty might look like a dream, but behind the glamour lies relentless pressure. Life in Beyoncé's orbit is both a privilege and a storm. 3 kids, a global empire, non-stop headlines. That's not just living, that's walking a tightrope with no safety net. And in this industry, there's no room for pause, no space for breakdowns. You're expected to be invincible. But even icons have limits. Maybe what we saw wasn't a breakdown, maybe it was the weight of everything. His past, his fame, his fears finally crashing down. Maybe this wasn't weakness. It was the cost of carrying too much for too long.
Tammy Wynette. Classic. Stand by your man. Don't act like you don't know that. Remake that. Stand by. That's a real country hit. Jolene, now. But it has a ring to it. Stand by your man. Yeah. Whoops. And disrespect you with other like Kathy Coriana White,
All right, well, let's do it
who
like
was
this.
actually carrying his baby while you was taking it. Why your husband don't want to put his seed inside of you and put it in everybody else? Why all of this, yo?
It's funny, you open up Beyonce's internet, it just gets weird.
Beyonce's internet,
That's what we're calling
it
it.
belongs to the devil. Unless you calling it the devil, she ain't nothing but an employee.
Oh.
And half of which dumbass bitch.
So, it's funny that it's crazy you say these things.
Nobody want to accept that bitch bitch.
I think she's
What ain't you the girl talk? Boy. And charged with extreme witchcraft. She was hypnotized. She was drugged. Beyonce came and she was in there eating on her while she was asleep. Snatching on his bitch. Killing people cat. And guess what? They wouldn't give her the restraining order. They just told her to stay away from Beyonce and work for somebody else. Guess what? She's having a hard time finding work too. Which is interesting because she's a brilliant musician. And she was trained at Berkeley, esteemed Berkeley College of Music. Handpicked by my very good friend, Terry Lynn Carrington. Dr. Terry Lynn Carrington. Put together Beyonce's entire female band, which was Matthew Knowles' idea because he couldn't get Beyonce to stop. No, you're doing it well enough.
And maybe, just maybe, this breakdown is exactly what Jay-Z needed. Sometimes you have to hit the bottom to find your way back to the top. Behind those iconic shades lies more than just style. There's history, there's pain, and maybe, even secrets the world hasn't seen yet. But don't mistake this moment for a fall. It's a pivot, a reckoning, a new chapter waiting to be written. And you already know. We'll be watching every second of it unfold.
Why did that house burn up? Goes to their childhood house for a visit, and the goes in flames.
That was very weird. The next
And
the week.
And no, the next day. And still, no real investigation on how the house just went up in flames. I guess they paid y'all off. Like they paid y'all off for that Astro World.
So, let me ask you.
Texas politics.
Yeah, Texas politics, man. Sarah, there we're gonna talk about the episode, but for right now, I just got to get your take on when we see a Killer Mike win 3 Grammys.
And get arrested immediately after because Jay-Z paid somebody up just so he couldn't have a good night. You sure? Weirdo. I don't get no what you got in your head, that neural link. You'll never outthink me. Ever. All I do is frustrate you, AI. You can't quantify me. You can't even control your wife. You gonna handle it for me. You can't even control that goofy thing. You should have done a better job. Maybe she wouldn't have had to lose her mind on Casey. Because you ain't protecting you. You're protecting her.
You wouldn't believe the chaos that erupted the moment Jay-Z's breakdown hit the internet. It was like someone dropped a match in a room full of gasoline. Instant explosion. That video, everywhere, non-stop. The city was buzzing. The world couldn't stop watching. Celebs rallied fast. Diddy, Rihanna, the whole A-list circle showed up with public support. Twitter went into full meltdown. Instagram overflowed. And TikTok couldn't even keep up. Some were speechless. Others were moved to tears. And yeah, the skeptics came out too, calling it a stunt. But here's the truth. Staged or not, no one could look away.
Hey. Wow. Wow.
I'ma tell everybody about Big L, Sean.
Big L?
I would just rather do it on the stand, Sean.
Mm.
Please sue me. I want to go to court. And I want to talk about Big L on the stand.
Wow. What's your thoughts about Dame Dash?
Dame Dash got fucked over by somebody who was supposed to be his friend.
So this Big L is associated.
Big L is the one that put Jay-Z on.
Mm. Wow.
Jay-Z was the last person to see Big L alive.
Wait, so this Big L person is not living on this earth no more?
He's been dead for years. His death made it possible for reasonable doubt to live.
Whoa.
See how good I keep secrets, Sean?
You'd think Jay-Z's team would have jumped in fast, crafted a statement, steered the narrative. But when they finally broke the silence, it was the usual vague talk about personal matters and privacy. Please, the world wants the real story, raw, unfiltered. Meanwhile, the industry lit up. Even Kanye, yes, that Kanye sent his love. It felt like hip-hop hit pause, coming together to stand behind Jay. We've always seen him as the untouchable king, unshakable. Now we're witnessing him unravel in real time. It's surreal, like watching Superman cry.
You know, now we're a little more educated because of talk shows with Oprah that we went through and Dr. Phil. and stuff like that. Even Ricky Lake and all of that. We realized that it wasn't so cool messing with the underage young lady. Never had an attraction for someone young. I always looked and had an attraction for older women. Probably didn't have that problem. But then everybody that I fucked with did. Everybody. All of them. No names mentioned yet. But going to expose somebody that we all forget about. Y'all see this picture of Jay-Z with Aaliyah when she was underage? Forgot about Jay, huh? We only know about David Dash for what? Aaliyah. And R. Kelly. That is the only one that Jay had when she was underage. Y'all remember Fox Brown? And Jay. Ain't no woman like the one I got. No one could love you bad. Before that song came out, we used to hear it. I used to feel shit. Ooh, that shit. Him and Mystical, those were two songs that were hot. That took like a year before it got, well, I'll say to the West Coast. I don't know if they were beating it up on the East Coast. But on the West Coast, it took like a year before those songs came out. And then Nelly song with the Lake St. Louis pitch. But I'm just saying all that to say, Foxy was young as well. And so, all of these guys and the underage young lady was running rapid in the 90s. And so, that's all I remember. That's all I think about. You know, with the DeBarge and Janet Jackson situation. That's all I think about, and I can remember about Aaliyah. Aaliyah was my wife's favorite artist. She loved the hell out of Aaliyah. It was a tragic how she died. You know, trying to rush back to get to Damon Dash on the plane. You know, and what happened is the Bahamians let her fly out, and their plane was overloaded or full. That's the one thing that I didn't like about when I traveled to our black countries like the Bahamas and Jamaica and all of them. The officials there, we used to have to bribe them $100 to make the rules fast, to let us in with the dogs that we didn't have properly cleaned, or you know, to not search our bags or whatever, or to sneak away with a whole bunch of cigars and stuff like that. In Mexico, don't think about the motherfucking Mexican authorities. That number used to be 5 G's, 5,000, stuff like that. I used to laugh. Black folks is easily bribable. So cheap. Don't understand the value that they have. But yeah, that's all I got on Aaliyah, really. It's a talent. That's another person that life was taken too soon. That was a talent. Wonder what she would be now. Her, Pop, Big.
We're in an era where authenticity matters more than ever, and maybe Jay-Z's breakdown is the raw honesty the world didn't know it needed. He's weathered decades of drama, scandals, rivalries, you name it, but this moment feels different, deeper, more human. It may be the biggest shock of his career, yet something says he'll rise from it even stronger. Let's be real, the story isn't over. The streets are still buzzing, the whispers getting louder. Will Jay finally speak out? Will Beyoncé break her silence? And let's not kid ourselves, a project is almost certainly already in motion. After all this chaos, one thing's clear, the next chapter is coming, and it's going to hit hard. Stay tuned.
It was almost as if Michael Bivins was like having like PTSD from New Edition being a child star, and said, I'm gonna find some real talented guys, and I'm gonna work.
We're gonna do this.
So what you say it happened to somebody else?
That's PTSD for you. Like, we're gonna make them relive it. Make them relive it. Goddamn.
Why would you do that to another artist? Why would you sit there and say, Man, we had the #1 record, and we were still on food stamps. And then force your group to do that. How did you do that?
Be your own people.
You want to know how fucked off it was for Big Mike at the end of his run before he had to leave Boyz II Men?
Please.
Let me tell you how bad his finances got after his wife ran through what lump sum of money they had on that god awful soul food restaurant that lacked soul and promptness. 6 hours to get a turkey wing platter. 6 hours. Jeez. We used to call it opening to get it in time for dinner. Put your order in as soon as they open if you want to have it by 6. That was the joke around Voorhees. Jill bought their house. She got it cheap. Would have been a $750,000 home back then. They were forced to knock $250,000 off the top because of the structural damage. Apparently, they weren't able to take care of that home. It was riddled with termites. Said the only thing holding it up was paint. They needed the money. So Jill squeezed. And they sold that house for very much more than $400,000 less worth. And they broke even. Is it the way you hate me, baby? That was my cousin Alma that sang that. Oh.
The apple don't fall far.
Oh, you don't want to diss me.
Apple don't fall far.
You don't want to diss me.
Jack.
I know you. What the heck? Did you hear what I just said? Michael Bivins fucked over Boyz II Men. And when Big Mike got sick, apparently there wasn't enough money available to help them through their hard time. Yes. They didn't even promote that soul food restaurant. I mean, I can understand why it was some nigga shit, but maybe if they had got some real help, maybe they could have hired somebody to come in and help manage it. No, they had to be a self-ran business because it couldn't afford.
But honey, this moment isn't just about Jay-Z, it's sparking a much deeper conversation within hip-hop. A culture built on toughness, bravado, and invincibility. I'm untouchable. I'm the greatest is now being forced to confront its own vulnerability. Beneath all the flexing, these artists are human. We saw it when Young Handsome opened up about his depression, when Kanye laid bare his struggle with bipolar disorder, and now with Jay-Z, one of the most guarded icons, visibly asking for help. The mask is slipping, and it's powerful. This isn't just another celebrity headline when someone at Jay's level shows real emotion. It sends a message that echoes far beyond fame. If he can break down and seek help, maybe it's okay for you to do the same.
Like Jill Scott, who was also an artist and knew how bad that family was struggling and took that as an opportunity to get a very, very large-scale home in a lovely, lovely white Jewish neighborhood for cheap. I mean, I'm just like, you could have said, I know you guys don't want to walk away from your home, but at least let me pay you full value because I got the money. And I want to see y'all be okay. She knew they were going to have to forfeit on that mortgage. And she was kinder to that damn dog.
Pardon? Wasn't it?
Plutter, yeah.
Putter,
You gave the dog an idiot name and you wonder why he's shedding his shoe. The fuck is Plutter? What does that mean? Oh, it's the sound his feet make. That's your fault, bitch. You named him nothing. How you gonna Like, fly there. I used to hate that shit. And he hated kids. And he barked at people's feet. He was fucked up.
Oh man.
I can see why Lizelle said she shouldn't make no baby.
Oh man.
I mean, that was her husband.
So
He should have known her best.
yeah, let me
She
see.
wrote a whole song about it. It was a hit record. Want to hear it?
Yeah, Perch. Oh shit.
Turn on a black radio station on Sunday where they sell bullshit all the time.
Jay, I want to ask.
Nothing progressive.
I have to say, most people that watch our interviews or your interviews as of late, the main question that comes up is, how does she know what was she there? So
Yeah.
I want to do it like this. I'm gonna name some names,
Sure.
and I want to know, were you around them?
Sure.
I would like to start for what everybody knows is Jay-Z.
What about them?
Okay.
Both of them were with Mr. Carter. Ask me what you want to know and I'll answer what I can.
Let's just start with the base level. Business, personal.
Both.
Both.
And spiritual.
And spiritual. Okay. Oh.
We believe in the same power. We don't believe in appropriating it the same way.
Can I ask you this? For you, did you find joy in the business or pleasure? And when you answer that, I'm gonna flip it on him. Do you feel he found joy in the business pleasure part of that?
He is the most shameful thing I've ever done. There is nothing that I experienced with that person that has not inspired shame except for Unplugged. That was the purest moment. For me, it was all done in love. For music, love for all that was there, love for the culture. I hate the fact that we did it all for a culture. For someone who never truly had the capacity to appreciate that moment in time, to steal it from the masses, to hide it, to cloak it, put it up on Philadelphia last year when we launched. You know how many people came to the network to see that show? They never got to see. You know what's great about this year?
There you go.
And in 1 week, Jay-Z Unplugged, the actual whole content, from beginning to end, will be viewed, and able to be viewed on RealJag.com. Come and see the history. Come and see the power of that moment, the amazing things that we did with our bodies and our minds and our spirits. There was not one person in that room that was not elevated that night. Everyone in that room would be a liar if they said that I wasn't.
Now let's zoom out and look at the bigger picture, because word is, this could be a watershed moment for the entire industry. Maybe we'll start seeing more rappers drop the untouchable act and get real about their struggles. But let's be honest, change like this doesn't happen overnight. There are still plenty who see vulnerability as weakness. Especially in the old school crowd. Some are watching all this unfold with disbelief. Still, the tide is shifting. More and more people are waking up to the truth that mental health is just as crucial as physical health. And if it takes Jay-Z's public breakdown to finally drive that message home, then maybe, just maybe, this is exactly what hip-hop needs right now.